invisible illnesses, realize that you can still lead a pretty healthy and active lifestyle. It's just not going to be the one you had envisioned for yourself, but what the hell else are you going to do about it? So I should have done this several weeks ago. Um, a lot of people who follow me probably know not really the biggest fan of the medical community. Having two chronic health conditions that are both characterized by widespread pain. And, in the past 20 years, they've gone from trying to stuff me so full of Vicodin that I couldn't function to, well, who gives a damn if you have two chronic pain conditions, you're not getting anything. And it's really weird. Um, it's just been a weird journey with this. And I had a really good relationship with the doctor for a while, and it really spoiled me, and it didn't last. And that sounds almost like a romance, doesn't it? It wasn't a romance, but the clinic got really corporate, and it changed the way that she was allowed to treat me, which of course changed the dynamic of our relationship. And I'll be honest, since then I've been a pretty vocal and harsh critic of what I consider to be the cruelty of most medical practices today. Now, however, that being said, my poor dad, at the end of last month, he had a heart valve replacement on July 5th. Um, but the end of last month, it wasn't good. I had him in the ER 3 days in a row. And the second day we were there, I cannot believe how, and it worried me because my dad's not, he's pretty patient, but ain't nobody 6 hours patient. You know what I'm saying? But he was so miserable, he was content to wait. And I was getting very upset because he's an 87-year-old heart patient and he was having very severe edema. And in fact, we sat there so long that the receptionist finally walked up to us and told my dad, "I'm so sorry that you've been waiting this long, but I've called back and you will be the next patient to go in." Um, and I told her, thank you. I said, I gestured to his ankles, which were visible. And I said, the edema's gotten a lot worse since we got here. And she said, "Yes, ma'am, I know. That's why I said something." Well, I didn't want to be a bitch because I knew they'd had a rough night. They had a code blue. I don't know if the patient passed, but I know it was close. I know they had to fly. Again, I have no idea if it's the same patient or another patient, but they had to medevac somebody to Seattle, which is never, that's obviously a very severe medical emergency. And as annoyed as I was with waiting, that was very understandable, of course. That being said, I seriously questioned their triage judgment, but that's another story. But my point is, the whole point of getting on here, and I really did mean to do this a couple of weeks ago, but I got to tell you guys, as harsh of a critic as I am often of the medical community, that freaking emergency room staff was amazing. I know they had a rough night. I know it for a fact. But I'll tell you, those people were kind. They were compassionate. They were full of empathy. They were, yes, they were professional, but I don't like that word so much because it sounds so formal and cold, but they were really warm and they genuinely seemed to care about my dad and getting him more comfortable and getting him into a better place. And it was a really cool thing to see these people who have just been through, frankly, an emotional hellscape to be able to, really think about that, to be able to turn around that freaking fast. And you have to put that behind you and move on to the next patient. You have to. My God, y'all, that's a tremendous ask. Think about that for a second. Now, generally speaking, I do still hold the medical community with a little bit of disdain. Ain't gonna lie, I do. I understand what the doctors are up against when it comes to prescribing. I do. I'm not stupid. I understand it. What bothers me is, excuse me, and maybe there is one out there and I just haven't heard about it. But what bothers me is that I've not heard of any large scale organized efforts from the medical community to say, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, granted, we were overprescribing, but now we're not giving anybody any relief, and that's not acceptable. But I haven't heard any of that. That pisses me off. And again, I understand it's not just them, it's the government, it's the insurance, it's the pharmacies, everybody. Everybody who has no freaking business in this medical relationship has stuffed their big freaking noses in and screwed it up. But why am I not hearing more about doctors going, hey, this isn't right? We can't do this to people. I have a social media friend, and I don't know what his health issues are. I've never asked. He's never offered. I've never asked. But I was bitching about how hard it is. And y'all, I'm not a pill person. I'm not. I took myself off of the Vicodin when they used to stuff me full of it because I didn't want to take it anymore. And frankly, I have access. I have some Percocets from a surgery several years ago that I couldn't take then and I won't take now because I don't tolerate them. But I cannot get low dose pain meds no matter what. Well, I shouldn't say that. If I'm willing to go in and take a monthly piss test and sign a contract with them, promising to be a very good girl and not do any illegal drugs. Okay, I am a woman of a certain age. I don't do illegal freaking drugs. And I resent the hell out of the implication. And I'm just not doing it. I think it's a load of crap. And I'm just disgusted that the medical community, oh, I didn't finish my story about my friend. I'm just disgusted that so many in the medical community have been like, okay, no big deal. We'll just cut our patients off. But this gentleman that I vaguely know through social media told me his pain meds were cut. He was taking 4 a day. Now they only give him 1 a day. And he has to drive, like, I think it's 60 miles each way and pay for the urinalysis test out of his own pocket just so they'll give him 1/4 of the medication that he was using to get by. And I think that's a bunch of crap. And I think it's disgusting, frankly, that the doctors aren't doing more to protest this. I'm sure there are some, but I haven't heard of much. And, I'm kind of up to my eyeballs in the chronic illness crap. So I would imagine I would have heard something by now, especially since I'm very vocal to complain about it. So it was really nice for me to get this reminder that most people who go into medicine go into it for the right reasons and they do sincerely want to help. And yes, most of them do care because I got to tell you, the way those people treated us, holy crap, why am I going to cry? No crying. But the way those people treated us at the emergency room that night, you can't fake that. You've either got to care or you don't. It's just that simple. But anyway, my phone's ringing and I hear my dad calling me. So I got to go see what's going on. But I hope y'all have a good night. I know this is really late, but I'm trying to get back onto a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. So excuse me. I figured better late Wednesday than not at all. Oh, and the new home health lady starts tomorrow. So she's going to come in and start helping out a few hours a day. That'll be nice. That'll give Dad and I both. Yeah, she's really super nice lady. I liked her a lot. Anyway, y'all take care. Have a great night. And I will be back. Oh, today is Wednesday, isn't it? I thought it was Monday. I'll be back Friday. Thanks.